Have you ever been judged solely based on your appearance? Imagine dedicating your life to saving others, only to be treated like a criminal because of your skin color. In this video, we witness a jarring encounter between a respected black surgeon and a police officer, an incident that reveals deep-seated biases and challenges our perceptions of justice and equality. As the story unfolds, we explore the complex interplay of assumptions and privilege that continue to shape experiences in America today. Subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more daily stories that need to be heard. Dr. Marcus Thompson's day begins before sunrise, navigating the quiet hallways of City Central Hospital. As chief surgeon, he carries the weight of countless lives on his shoulders, a responsibility he's embraced for over 2 decades. Dr. Thompson's expertise in the operating room shines as he performs intricate procedures with steady hands and laser focus. Yet, beneath the surface, subtle tensions simmer. A nurse hesitates before handing him an instrument, and an anesthesiologist double-checks his dosage calculations, seemingly questioning his competency. These microaggressions extend beyond the OR, where patients eye him warily or request to speak with a head surgeon instead, assuming that role must belong to someone else. These encounters aren't isolated incidents. Studies have shown that black healthcare professionals face disproportionate levels of doubt and scrutiny. Dr. Thompson is acutely aware of this reality, having navigated it throughout his career. He approaches each interaction with patience and professionalism, refusing to let prejudice compromise the quality of care he provides. As evening approaches, Dr. Thompson completes his final rounds, exchanging brief, cordial nods with colleagues, acutely aware of the invisible barriers that persist despite his position and accomplishments. In the locker room, he changes out of his scrubs, his shoulders sagging slightly as he sheds the armor of his professional persona. Stepping into the cool night air, Dr. Thompson lets out a long exhale. The drive home beckons, a rare moment of solitude after the intensity of the hospital. As he slides into his car, he focuses on the lives he's touched and the difference he's made. Unbeknownst to him, his evening commute is about to take an unexpected turn, one that will bring the pervasive nature of racial profiling into sharp focus. The wail of a siren shatters Dr. Thompson's quiet contemplation. In the next few minutes, he'll face a situation that no amount of surgical skill can prepare him for. As he pulls over to the side of the road, his heart races. The flashing lights illuminate his rear-view mirror, casting an eerie glow across his face. Dr. Thompson takes a deep breath, reminding himself to remain calm and composed. The officer approaches, his hand resting on his holstered weapon. License and registration. He demands, without greeting. Dr. Thompson complies, his movements slow and deliberate as he hands over his documents. The officer's demeanor shifts, suspicion evident in his gaze. "This your car, sir?" the officer asks, his tone dripping with skepticism. Dr. Thompson nods, explaining that he's owned the vehicle for several years. The officer's questions become increasingly invasive. "Where are you coming from? Any drugs or weapons in the vehicle?" Dr. Thompson answers each question calmly. But he can feel his frustration building. He's acutely aware of the statistics running through his mind, the disproportionate rates at which black drivers face these situations. As the officer continues his interrogation, Dr. Thompson realizes he's becoming another data point in this ongoing narrative of racial profiling. The tension in the air is palpable as the officer demands to search the vehicle. Dr. Thompson, knowing his rights, politely declines. This seems to agitate the officer further, and his demeanor becomes more aggressive. "Step out of the car, sir," he commands, his hand firmly gripping his weapon. As Dr. Thompson carefully exits the vehicle, he can't help but think about the countless other black professionals who have faced similar situations. The irony isn't lost on him. Just hours ago, he was saving lives in the operating room, and now he's being treated like a criminal on the side of the road. Finally, as the officer continues to press him, Dr. Thompson decides to reveal his identity. "Officer," he begins, his voice steady despite the turmoil, "I'm Dr. Marcus Thompson, chief surgeon at City Central Hospital. I'm on my way home after performing 3 life-saving surgeries today. The effect is immediate." The officer's posture shifts from aggressive to uncertain. He stammers out an apology, suddenly all too aware of his own biased assumptions. As he hastily retreats to his patrol car, Dr. Thompson is left standing on the roadside, a mix of relief and lingering frustration washing over him. As the police cruiser pulls away, Dr. Thompson remains motionless for a moment. The encounter has left him shaken, not just by the blatant display of prejudice, but by the stark reminder of how quickly his professional status can be stripped away by the color of his skin. He climbs back into his car, his mind already racing with thoughts of how to address this systemic issue for his entire community. Dr. Thompson sits in his parked car, hands trembling slightly on the steering wheel. The police cruiser's lights have faded, but the weight of the encounter lingers. He closes his eyes, allowing suppressed emotions to surface. Memories flood his mind, skeptical glances from patients, subtle exclusion from colleague gatherings, the constant need to prove his worth despite his impressive credentials. Each instance, though small, has accumulated over the years into a heavy burden. Anger surges within him, the injustice threatening to overwhelm him. Yet even in this private moment, he finds himself tempering his emotions, a habit born from years of navigating a world that often views his natural reactions with suspicion. The psychological toll is immense. Dr. Thompson recognizes the symptoms of racial battle fatigue, the chronic stress experienced by black professionals due to ongoing discrimination and microaggressions. It exacts a price on his mental and physical well-being. As he sits there, Dr. Thompson feels the familiar tightness in his chest, the tension in his shoulders. He thinks about countless other black professionals facing similar challenges, many without the shield of his prestigious title. How many promising careers have been derailed under the relentless pressure of systemic racism. Yet, even as dark thoughts swirl, a spark of determination ignites within him. He has overcome too much to let this incident defeat him. Instead, he considers how to channel this experience into meaningful change. His mind races with possibilities. Perhaps it is time to push for a more comprehensive diversity and inclusion program at the hospital. He could use his position as chief surgeon to advocate for better training and to create spaces for dialogue about racial bias in healthcare. As Dr. Thompson starts his car, his resolve strengthens. Tomorrow, he will approach the hospital board with a proposal for a new initiative addressing systemic biases affecting staff and patient care. The road ahead will not be easy. He knows he will face resistance and skepticism. But as he drives home, the weight on his shoulders feels a little lighter. He has found a way forward, a means to fight back against injustice. In that moment, despite the lingering pain, Dr. Thompson feels a glimmer of hope for the future. The hospital boardroom falls silent as Dr. Thompson clears his throat. He is about to propose something unprecedented, something that will force every person in that room to confront an uncomfortable truth. Little do they know, his words will set in motion a revolution in patient care. Dr. Thompson stands before the hospital board, his posture straight and his gaze unwavering. He recounts his recent experiences, from the microaggressions at work to the harrowing traffic stop. As he speaks, He sees the expressions on the board members' faces shift from polite interest to shock and discomfort. With a deep breath, Dr. Thompson unveils his proposal, a comprehensive racial sensitivity training program for all hospital staff. The room tenses as he outlines the components of his initiative. Interactive workshops will challenge implicit biases, while patient testimonials will bring real-world impact to the forefront. Ongoing assessments will measure the effectiveness of the training, ensuring continuous improvement. As Dr. Thompson finishes his presentation, a tense silence fills the room. Then, the questions begin. Some board members express skepticism, questioning the necessity of such a program. "We're all professionals here," one argues. "Surely we don't need sensitivity training." Others raise concerns about cost and time constraints. Dr. Thompson has anticipated this resistance. He calmly presents research showing that hospitals implementing similar programs have seen a 20% increase in patient satisfaction scores related to perceived respect and understanding. He shares a case study from the University of California, San Francisco, where a racial bias training program resulted in a 30% reduction in reported incidents of racial bias among healthcare providers within 1 year. As the board deliberates, Dr. Thompson can feel the momentum shifting. The data is compelling, but it is his personal story that seems to resonate most deeply. He watches as even the most skeptical board members begin to nod in understanding. After what feels like an eternity, the board reaches a decision. To Dr. Thompson's relief and satisfaction, his initiative is approved with widespread support. The chair of the board stands up, shaking Dr. Thompson's hand firmly. "This is long overdue," she admits. "Thank you for having the courage to bring this to our attention." In the weeks that follow, Dr. Thompson works tirelessly to implement the program. He engages hospital leadership in the training process, understanding that their participation is crucial for success. Clear goals are established and ongoing support and resources are provided for staff. As the initiative takes root, changes begin to ripple through the hospital culture. Conversations about race and bias, once avoided, become more open and constructive. Staff members report feeling more aware of their own biases and better equipped to provide equitable care. Dr. Thompson knows this is just the beginning. The struggle against racial bias is ongoing, but for the first time in a long while, he feels a sense of real progress. As he walks through the hospital corridors, he senses a subtle but significant shift in the atmosphere. It isn't just about changing policies, it's about changing hearts and minds. In that moment, Dr. Thompson knows that his painful experiences have led to something truly transformative. Dr. Thompson's initiative sparks a transformation that extends far beyond the hospital walls. Staff members approach patient care with greater empathy and understanding, leading to improved patient satisfaction scores. The positive impact ripples through families and the wider community, fostering meaningful conversations about racial equity in healthcare. As the initiative progresses, Dr. Thompson observes his colleagues navigating difficult conversations with increasing skill and sensitivity. Though challenges persist, each interaction brings new insights and opportunities for growth. The hospital's culture shifts, embracing a more inclusive and equitable approach to patient care. Dr. Thompson's journey evolves from a solitary mission to a collective effort. He witnesses the power of shared commitment as his colleagues work together to address systemic biases. The progress made reinforces his belief in the potential for lasting change within the healthcare system. Looking ahead, Dr. Thompson envisions a future where equitable healthcare is the norm, not the exception. He recognizes that the work will continue, requiring ongoing vigilance and dedication. With renewed determination, He commits to building on their achievements, knowing that each step forward brings them closer to a truly just and compassionate healthcare environment.